Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt. Ammunition review today, and my favorite caliber, 5.7x28mm. This is from Vanguard Outfitters. I don't know if this was a Halloween special or how this came about, but they are known for their extravagant names, and this is no different. This is the 34 grain Vampire Fang. Solid copper guy. Let's throw him on the table and talk about what we're going to do today. In full transparency, I myself purchased this ammunition from Vanguard Outfitters to perform this review. I do have a good relationship with them, and from time to time I have been sent samples of ammunition to review. Since 5.7 is my favorite caliber, we have a wide variety of barrel lengths, but we're only going to stick to a couple today for this review since I have a limited amount of this ammunition. We're going to look for our velocity, we're going to do accuracy in both a pistol and a PCC. We will also check this in gel and against some various barriers. Since our user base of 5.7 has greatly expanded over the last few years with the introduction of guns from PSA, Ruger, and Smith & Wesson, I get asked a lot what my preferred self-defense rounds are. I do have a little short where I quickly go over them, but essentially we want a projectile that we can keep the velocity over 2,000 feet per second. In that case, it's going to be like 34 grain and under loads. Since we can't rely on explosive fragmentation or expansion with these lighter bullet weights to carry mass out to about 12 inches, that's what the FBI deems as a necessary minimum penetration depth, we're looking for a tumbling round. So in order to keep all those qualifications together, we're looking at something that's going to be very, very long, like a solid copper load that can maintain those velocities and give us that tumbling action. We're going to see if this particular Vampire Fang can do that for us today. Now, since we have a limited number of these, we're only going to fire 5 rounds out of each. The pistol, PDW, and carbine length barrels. We're going to attempt an accuracy portion. While we're doing this, we have a target at 15 yards. I figured that's a good compromise for this setup. You know, 5.7 ideally is a sub 150 yard cartridge. I would say it's not known for its accuracy. So our 5.2 inch pistol barrel is our PSA rock. Nice velocity. Now we've got the 8-inch CMMG MK57. This one uses their proprietary magazines, does not use the 5.7 lower. My friend did say he was having some cycling issues with this particular bullet in this design, so I figured that's why we bring it out. Didn't have any cycling issues there. A little over 2,300 feet per second. Nice. And finally, our 16-inch. This is our Ruger LC carbine. Nice jump in velocity there. Here are our accuracy results from our Vampire Fang. This was our 8-inch CMMG, 816 thousandths at 15 yards. As a comparison, 649 was our American Eagle TMJ. Our rock, 0.932 inches, but for whatever reason on that 5th shot we had a flyer. You can tell the Vampire Fangs because of how clean the holes that are being punched in our paper. And then here's our American Eagle TMJ as a control, 1.438 inches. So if you include this flyer for whatever reason, maybe the bullet was machined slightly under and it didn't get a good seal with the barrel, I'm not sure, 3.088. As far as our Ruger LC, 1.483 inches. Not too bad, just shooting off a bag. That was with a red dot. I'm not gonna complain about that too much. We're losing daylight, folks, but I've got all the ballistic gel out, so I figured we'd see how our Vampire Fang does in ballistics gel. We have our 6x6x16 10% variant down there. Now there is a lot of discussion about the validity between our clear ballistics gel and organic gel, and I would love for the ability to buy some organic gel to see what these would look like in there. But typically with a tumbling round, we should see good penetration depths and some good wounding from at least 2 tumbles. We'll take a shot out of each barrel length. This is the 5.2-inch rock. Nice center shot there. Shot that a little low. R.A.N.G.E, we had a couple leave the block. We'll take another shot from the 8-inch here in a second, but I wanted to go over these before I muddied up the block. So this one right in the foreground is our 8-inch. It looks like we have almost instantaneous neck on that. We have the first tumble, and then we have the second tumble extending out to the 10-inch mark. So I think that's pretty ideal. Then it leaves the block, R.A.N.G.E. Now, this one up here in the middle is our pistol barrel length. We have our first tumble right around the 5-inch mark. Then again, shortly thereafter, out to the 10-inch mark is the tumble. And all the way up to the 15-inch mark, upwards trend, is the pistol barrel. The one behind it, we'll switch the top-down view. This one right here is the 16-inch. That one's got quite a bit of penetration, folks. If you're looking for a deeper penetrating round in 5.7 and you have a 16-inch, we were all the way out past the 20-inch mark. There is the line right there. It looks like it probably hit my barrier and then away it went. So we've got good velocity on our side. In theory, at close distances, if that velocity is over, 2,000 feet per second, some say it's 2,200 feet per second, that stretch cavity could give us additional rifle-like wounding. All in all, though, we did hit our minimum penetration depths, at least in clear gel. It would be interesting to see, again, what this would do in organic, but fairly impressive from the Vampire Fang. Our 8-inch looks very, very impressive. I think sometimes it depends on which way that bullet wants to yaw, but look at how wide that wound cavity is. Now we have a little bit less or longer of a neck this time, right around 2.5 inches there, but there is some kind of disruption going on. It's not just a plain Jane neck, but we have our first tumble right around the 4-inch mark. And then look at how wide that guy is, again, out to the 10 to 11-inch mark. That's probably 2 inches wide. And then again, all the way down to about the 15.5-inch mark is our bullet base forward. So we're meeting penetration depths, and we're providing very good wound channels with good velocity and good function. Pretty much identical there. No deformation of that bullet because it is tumbling. I know with the Black Dragon Fang and the T6B, sometimes if you hit certain hard mediums, you can break that tip off. But I wonder if this design is a little different to make that little base thicker and harder to break. I'm not quite sure, but there you have it. Time to see what these can do in our level 3A. I have a Razor level 3A from Stealth Armor Systems down there. It is 100% pure polyethylene. Typically with these solid copper rounds, our aramid fibers are no match for it. So we're going to start off at a disadvantage and see at what barrel length these can penetrate that panel. I have a rigid one if these do not get stopped in this panel. Nice. There was our shot right there. We are 3 inches away from that previous hit. That is a fair hit. Uh-oh, R.A.N.G.E, we have a penetration. Now, you know, I talk a lot online about my preferred self-defense loads, and the Black Dragon Fang, Elite Ammunition's T6B, and even this Vampire Fang come to mind, because look at this. It's gonna be hard to see, but at the 12.5-inch mark right there is our bullet. Now, I can't see too well in here because this is a used block. Again, I'm a poor, starving artist, so I have to use what I have. We have a very short neck right there. Looks like it just kind of straight lined right out to the 12.5-inch mark. Ideal wound cavity? No, but we penetrated a fairly high-end 3A from the pistol. That's impressive. Here is our recovered round. Kind of smushed that tip over a little bit and started to bend, but did not break. Nice. All right, time to step up the game. We have a level 3A rigid panel down there. It's 100% pure polyethylene, and it's been pressed to make it a rigid board. It's the RMA 1003 model, 3A plus. I think that's special rifle threat rated for M193. I don't think this is going to go through, but you don't know until you try. Easy enough. Our 8-inch and 16-inch, I would consider those fair hits. And there's no pass-through. RMA does build very, very nice, capable plates. Like I said, I think this one is rated for 5.56 and 193. I do have a discount code from them. It's Buffman. If you're looking to pick anything up, that does help the channel out. I think that pretty much ends our assessment of the Vampire Fang. It's going to be really good at penetrating flexible 3A, but once you get into these rigid stuff, unless it's a thinner one, then it's going to get stopped. All right, this is going to sound really corny, but I want to suck your blood. I think our Vampire Fang from Vanguard Outfitters performed right in line with what we've seen in the past from our Black Dragon Fang. Essentially, this is the same bullet design, except they've actually sharpened the tip on it. We're getting good velocities out of all of our barrel lengths, ample penetration depths in our gel. We have a tumbling bullet, which in this velocity threshold, we're not going to get that crazy fragmentation like we want to see from like M193 and 5.56. So we need some kind of mechanism to aid in our wounding. And since we don't get any expansion, that tumbling is what we want to see. So we're getting that, and we're getting to our minimum penetration depths, and we're even penetrating better than average soft level 3A armor. Now, one thing I haven't done in the past with our 5.7 testing has been a whole lot of accuracy, mainly because of a limited number of rounds. So in the future, I'm going to have to ask for some more or pay for some more to ensure that we have a good sampling size of what potential accuracy could be or may not be. We noticed that depending on the pistol that we were using, our group sizes could vary very widely depending on what the load was. And then when we shoot the 8-inch or the 16-inch, those groups would tighten up considerably. And I think given some of our wacky bullet designs using the longer barrel lengths for accuracy and not including the pistol has led us to some false expectations of accuracy, even out to just a mere 25 yards. More and more people are getting into our 5.7x28mm caliber thanks to probably the PSA Rock, the Ruger 5.7, and the Smith & Wesson M&P. I get often asked, you know, my placement on preferred self-defense rounds, and I've posted it before, and I'll post the list again. And if asked, I think our Vampire Fang places right up there with our Black Dragon Fang, and it is one of my top picks for preferred self-defense loads, mainly because of its velocity, ability to penetrate certain types of barriers while giving us adequate penetration depths. With all that being said, it's time for me to get the heck out of here, but at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who help make these possible, because there's a lot that goes into them. Number one is my Patreon subscribe star and YouTube channel members. I have a link tree in the description below, just like other various content creators. If you guys like seeing this kind of content and helping me to succeed, any donations of any kind are always greatly appreciated. I have, our affiliate tracking links that earn me a sales commission, and I put that right back in the channel. Number two is Charles over at Vanguard Outfitters. Again, in full transparency, donated this ammo for me to test with no strings attached. Number three is the various armor manufacturers who appeared in this video, from Armor Republic, RMA Defense, and or Stealth Armor Systems. And of course, number four is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.